Hello, everyone. It's Michael Beck, your local SEO pro, and today we're going to be talking about a local SEO checklist that you should be going through with concerning your business if you want to rank well locally. This is in addition to things that you would do on your website as well. So this is actually something that you're going to look for as far as on the search engines. Once again, my name is Michael Beck. I'm the owner of 4starseo.com. If I'm not going to do like a big sales pitch or anything, but if you would like to take a look at what I do, you can take a look at my services over at 4starseo.com. And if there's anything on there that you need help with, please feel free to get in touch with me. With that being said, let's get on with this. So let's go on to the next page here. I need to turn off my drawing. There we go. So we're going to go to the first page right here. So what is it that Google, this is for ranking specifically in Google Maps or other type engines like that, like Apple Maps and Bing Places, stuff like that. So what is it but we're going to talk about Google specifically, and we'll also expand into the other ones as well a little bit. But what is it that Google looks for? And this kind of filters down to the others as well. They look for relevance, distance/proximity, and they also look for prominence as well. This has been documented in Google's as far as like what it is they're looking for. They actually, you can find this online. Google does recommend these three things, and these are what determine what shows up in local SEO searches. So what are we talking about here? So relevance specifically means, does the business fit what the user is searching for? In other words, you have to display as much as possible about what your business does in order for Google to understand what it is you do. Providing more information to Google will help display your business when the right searches are made. So this is just a matter of understanding your business. So you have to be clear online. This is also on your website. It's in your profiles, your local profiles. You have to be clear as to what it is that you actually provide. Are you an e-commerce site that sells tennis shoes? Are you a restaurant? Are you a plumber? It has to be very clear what it is you do. Distance and proximity. So how close is the business physically to the user who's searching? So Google knows, obviously, Google knows everything. They know exactly where the person is physically whenever they're doing a search. So distance and proximity to that business plays a huge part as to whether or not you show up in search results. For example, if you sell bikes in New York, then you're likely not going to show up for someone who's searching for bikes but is located in New Mexico. And that's not just like a state distance thing. That could even be a locality. If you're in New York City, you may not show up if somebody's searching in Rochester, for example. I don't know how far apart those are. I don't know geography in New York, but I'm assuming those are far apart. They're two different cities, so it does go city to city, even locality to locality. So that's a big part as well. As far as prominence, how familiar are people with your business? For example, if you're a brand new restaurant website that's selling burritos in your area, you probably won't be showing at the top as often as a Chipotle or a Taco Bell, even though you're probably much more delicious than either one of these. But you actually have to establish that prominence. So getting more prominence can be done by building local backlinks, as well as taking additional SEO actions, even on your website, in order to bring it closer to the forefront of those searches. So to get closer to the top of the searches, you have to build that prominence up quite a bit. So what points should be taken into consideration when trying to rank locally? The first point that we need to make is that you need to create and verify your local business profiles. This means utilizing all the profile information that Google makes available. That's things inside such as, we'll get to those in a second. It's like name, address, phone number, things like that. We're going to get to that more in a second. But Google is not the only profile to make. As I mentioned before, there's Apple Maps, there's Bing Places. Easy Local is a good one, even though it's not as heavily used. These are just building citations, what's called citations. Using the Better Business Bureau, put your business in there, whether you're accredited or not, doesn't really matter. Just having a link from the Better Business Bureau, having a profile there is beneficial to you. Local Chamber of Commerce, I'm going to mention them again a little bit later, and then using other local businesses as well. Those are just some examples of, but that's what you want to kind of get your brain thinking about. What's like the local, where can I put a local business profile? Obviously, if you're in New York, you don't want to put anything from like a California, fill out anything at the California Chamber of Commerce, in Santa Barbara or anything like that. You want to do it locally only. So that's just showing Google and these other search engines that you are local and you're targeting these local areas. You're not targeting international or the entire US or whatever you want to do. Number 2, keep your local business profiles updated and active. So this is where we're going to talk about that extra stuff that I was talking about over here, where I was saying utilize all profile information. I said there was more stuff, so this is that part. It's important that you keep all of your profiles up to date with accurate and current information that matches across all platforms so the community trusts you and your business. So this is the type of information that you want to keep accurate and up to date. So your name, address, and phone number, those are typically referred to as NAP, N-A-P. So whenever you hear anybody say NAP, and then sometimes they'll include W as well, but that's starting to become something. But a website as well. So, but whenever you hear anybody talking about NAPs, they're talking about name, address, and phone number, and then sometimes website as well. Although you do want to include website as well. I say sometimes because that's what sometimes they're referring to when they say NAP, but website is definitely one of the things that you want to make sure stays up to date. Your business hours, including holiday hours, needs to stay up to date. Your business description, answering questions from potential customers. You need to do that. Replying to reviews quickly. You need to do that. You need to share media such as photos on a regular basis. Another thing that I was going to mention as far as like utilizing all profile information that Google makes available, anything you see on the back end in those Google business profiles, Google makes it accessible to you for a reason. So use it, because Google uses that information in different, they test things all the time. They test to see if like the services do better for their listings, if they only show up in these types of searches, or if a Q&A makes sense to show up in this type of search. So they're testing it all the time. It's important that you actually utilize every bit of the Google business profile that you can. Another point to be taken into consideration when trying to rank locally, keep your content optimized for your location. So by doing this, this is something that you want to do. You use your website to use local keywords so you're more likely to show up in local searches. That means mentioning landmarks on your website. That means possibly mentioning other local businesses, using targeted cities and localities on your website, along with the keywords that you're targeting as well. This goes into kind of website on-page optimization, but you need to remember to do this. So you want your content on your website to be optimized for your location and the locations you're targeting. If you're targeting additional locations outside the major city or locality that you're in, you need to somehow include those in the SEO for your website as well. Encourage and ask for reviews from your customers. And some people get they get kind of weirded out by this. Some businesses do sometimes. They feel like it's kind of strange that they're forcing it, or maybe they're like breaking some rules by asking for reviews. It is not against the rules. It never will be. It's not against the rules to ask your happy customers for reviews. What is against the rules is if you buy reviews, or what's questionable is if you offer prizes or rewards for posting only positive reviews. If you do that, you want to show the good and the bad. Let people review them honestly. But if you know somebody is actually happy as they're walking out, you know they are. You know if they're happy or not. You should never feel bad about asking for reviews. And that being said, bad reviews are not a death sentence for your business. You need to take those as an opportunity to just show potential customers how you respond, and then respond in a professional manner. Okay, keep your emotions out of it. Just respond professionally, be polite, and people will see that and they'll respect that. Everybody knows there's going to be some bad reviews. Everybody knows. If you have nothing but 5-star reviews, that looks suspicious. Okay, But if you have like some reviews that are middle of the road, even a couple of like 1-star ones, that's okay. Just reply to that. That's why it's important for you to reply to these. Reply to these. Don't get emotional in them. Don't get defensive. Just go right in there and just reply in a professional and polite manner. And when it comes to asking for reviews, it's important that you're not shy about it. This is part of the business cycle in today's online business world, and it's actually expected by most customers. Okay, so probably something like 90% of your customers are going to expect you to ask for a review. That's okay. Do it. You should be comfortable doing this. And if you're not, start getting comfortable and make it easy for customers to actually give those reviews as well. As far as like giving a QR code or possibly like a really easy URL forwarding, you can always set up like a subdomain to let's say your business is you set up a subdomain like reviews.mybusiness.com. So you would just tell them go to reviews.mybusiness.com, or even do mybusiness.com/reviews and set up a forwarding, set up a redirect. So it's that easy to do, very easy, and you should do it. And then backlinks, you should know that backlinks are not as difficult as you think they are. Now, a lot of people get kind of intimidated with backlinks because you feel like when you first start doing it, it feels like you're being kind of intrusive to other people. But you'll find out that other people are looking for backlinks too. They appreciate you coming to them. So local backlinks and you should know when you're talking about ranking locally, local backlinks with domain authority of less than 10 are just as important as backlinks with authority of 80 or more. Okay. In fact, probably even more so when you're talking about local SEO, because this is establishing you locally. Most local businesses are not going to have a huge domain authority. So that shouldn't even be taken into consideration. What you want is just a do follow backlink as opposed to a no follow. So you want one that they actually where they're telling the search engines, that's just giving your the link to you a little bit more prominence, a little bit more relevance when it's a do follow as opposed to a no follow. So people who like tell you if you're a local business and they're telling you to get rid of like domains that have a domain authority of less than 10, most local businesses have a domain authority of less than 10. Some like can get as high as 20, okay? But most of them are going to have very low domain authority because domain authority doesn't have as much impact when you're talking about local businesses when they're linked to other local businesses. It's just the sheer volume of it. And it's also the proximity of it. It's all this stuff coming down to it. It's far less than domain authority. You should know domain authority is not a ranking factor for Google. It's not a ranking factor. It's an arbitrary scoring system. So don't even think about domain authority when you're talking about local SEO. It's just basically a guideline, does not really mean anything locally. So again, go for those local backlinks with the domain authority closer to what yours is. And I can almost guarantee you if you're a local SEO or a local business, your domain authority is going to be less than 10, and it probably will never get higher than 20, probably. So some other sources you might want to look at are your local chamber of commerce, other businesses in your area. Link swapping is great. That also allows you to form partnerships for future events or promotions. You need to be looking for local directories, okay? Not just the national ones, but the local ones. Those are the ones that really look better to you, to Google. That's how Google is going to know you're a local business and that you're serving this area, is when you show up in local directories, local chambers of commerce, local businesses, even hosting a local event. Reach out to the local news and ask them to cover it. This is probably one of your biggest, if you want to talk about, go back to domain authority, and you're still not convinced about the domain authority, local news sources are typically going to have the higher domain authority on a local level. So that's where you want to find, if you can get on a local news story and you can get them to link to you like from their website, that's going to do really wonders for you if you're married to this domain authority stuff from earlier. So that's basically it. The primary thing that you want to take away from here is to be active. When it comes to getting your business to the forefront of online searches, stay diligent and stay active. And that's what Google wants to see. They want to see activity. And all that will come back around to all these other things as well. So it's going to come back around to your relevance. It's not going to come around to the distance and proximity, obviously, because that has to do with the user and where they're searching from. But it will bring back to your prominence as well. So that's about it. Please like and subscribe. I'll go ahead and add an S here so you're not subscribing. I would like you to subscribe as opposed to subscribing. So please do that. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments or let me know what you'd like to see discussed in future local SEO tutorials. I'd love to keep making these for you. And if I can help you or your business locally, I'm available for consulting or for just about any needs you have. Once again, my name is Michael Beck. Your local SEO Pro. Star SEO is my business, and that's my URL as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have yourself a great weekend and be safe out there.